welcome back. So we've had a politician, we've had an event designer, so we're just softening it down a bit now. Now we have a gospel artist. And believe it or not, I was introduced to this lady's music just last week. And I thought, where have I been or where has she been, But finally we connected. How are you doing, Sarah?
I'm very well,
Sarah
thank
TEIBO.
you, Sarah TEIBO. Thank you so much.
It was so short, thanks for coming because
Thank
I know
you.
you're busy, you're busy. But I love your music.
Wow, thank you.
It's different and the good thing was, I'm glad that the first song that was sent, the video that was sent actually was the one I like, The Blessed, which is like your Afrobeat slant.
Absolutely, yeah.
But before that, obviously, you're not new in the business.
No,
You've been out there. You've been a Mobile Award nominee.
Yeah.
You've won series of awards, and you are quite entrenched and solid in the gospel music network. In fact, when you came in here, already people were saying, we know her, we know her. So I'm asking, where have I been? So tell us your story. Let's start with your story in 1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute.
Sarah, yeah.
I'll
Abridged.
Abridged, yeah, it's very hard. But basically, I've done music since I was about 10. I've been singing in choirs and in my teenage years, writing and backing up people. Now, I was born in the UK.
Okay.
Went back to Nigeria with my parents.
Okay.
So I've got exactly that's part of my story. So I've got the privilege of having a mixed background. So like when you were asking about how come Afrobeats and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's interesting because I've got that whole blend of American influence, British influence, Nigerian influence.
All
like
influences.
where do I go? So I try and make sure I represent all of these different flares in my music. And interestingly enough, Bless, which is the Afrobeat track, has been like the most well received. I don't know if it's just because it's Afrobeat season globally.
Well, yes, it is. But then obviously your initial foray into this thing was basically R&B,
absolutely,
soul,
R&B soul, yeah.
American style.
Yeah.
And after hearing that, and I went to do a search on you, and I'm like, okay, she's done, all this, and I'm asking, why Afrobeat? Is that because that's the season?
No, not really, because even in my first album, I did have an Afrobeat song.
Okay.
I didn't have a video for that one, so you probably haven't seen it.
Yeah,
but I always like to stay true to my roots. So in every project I produce, I have one song that connects with my African roots. So in my first album, I had a song called I Will Sing, and that was like Afrobeat.
2015, I
yeah,
believe.
2016.
16,
yes.
okay, yeah.
And then my second album, Blessed, was also an Afrobeat song. But with the first album, a lot of people were clamoring for a music video for that Afrobeat song.
Okay.
But obviously,
so they took you out of your
so I
comfort
was
zone.
like, this time I'm going to make sure the Afrobeat song on the album has a video. So I think that's why it's a bit more popular. But I did do an Afrobeat song. But the thing is, though, it does have a soulful slant. When you listen to it,
certainly,
that soul does still come out.
No. The soul is certainly there. In fact, that was part, and it was the fusion that kind of like got to me. It's like, okay, you're still doing the tile, but it's like the foundation was soul.
Yeah.
And then you just had your Afrobeat touch, in between. Now,
it's like a cheesecake.
Oh God, don't go there. Don't go there. Now, if is that you from now on? Are your forthcoming album? Is that going to be more of the slant we're getting because of the times? Are you gonna stay, or are you gonna stay true to your original, or are we gonna get a mix of both?
I think I'm gonna keep evolving, and I don't want to let any cats out of bags
yet.
But I know there will always be soul, and there will always be an African influence in what I do. How I, sort of demonstrate that would always be different. The artistry would always evolve and get better by God's grace. But I'm sure that there'll always be soul and always African. I mean, look at Janet Jackson, for heaven's sake. You know what I mean?
Everybody's jumping on it. Everybody's jumping on it. And I'm blessed. I see you work with Dio Bello.
Andrew Bello,
Dio's brother, Andrew Bello.
I know, right? Yeah,
and Muyiwa, And what was it like working with them?
Fantastic. Honestly, those guys are so amazing and very, very supportive, especially Muyiwa. Andrew Bello as well, but even more so Muyiwa, who has such a packed schedule. And he literally had such a packed schedule on the day he came out, and the video as well. Oh my God, I was a bit surprised. Shout out to Muyiwa. I was a bit surprised. I was like, okay, Uncle Muyiwa, because I call him Uncle Muyiwa. But no, those guys are just a pleasure, a joy to work with. Very, very supportive. There's some people who say we support UK Gospel and never act it out. But these guys support, they act out. Andrew Bello is like, anyone who asks, well, I wouldn't say anyone who asks, but I see him feature on so many projects, so I know he's very supportive when it comes to collaborations and stuff. And Uncle Muyiwa, obviously the don of UK Gospel.
Indeed.
So it's just been a privilege to work with both of them.
How big is the UK Gospel industry or market right now?
I wouldn't know if I'm the best person to sort of measure
You're in it, so.
But I would say that it's got huge potential. I think there's a lot of untapped potential in the UK Gospel scene, and a sort of testament to that is the fact that you didn't know about me.
Yes.
but I've got great music out there.
Indeed.
And that literally is the answer. There is so much great stuff in the UK gospel scene, but we've got a lot of work to do in terms of getting it out there.
There are over 1,000 Nigerian churches. Because
way more. Just look for Redeemed branches alone.
Yeah, 1,000 churches in London.
Okay, yeah.
In London.
Talking, yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm thinking the church, for so many African artists, the church has been the the foundation. And look at from all your Don Jazzies, all the big players in the Afrobeat scene, from all your Don Jazzies
even
to
Tiwa Savage,
they all had, most of them had a church, and it reflects in the, look at Simi, performances.
Yeah.
Most of that was from the church.
Yeah.
And before you answer that, we'll take this caller. Hello, hi Yemi, where are you calling from?
Hi, DJ. I'm calling from Welling Garden City.
Aha, what's your question or comment for Sarah?
Sarah, first thing is, I want to congratulate you for all the great work that you're doing.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah, and my question is, you're rapidly reaching the top of your game. As a UK gospel artist, how are you able to do this? How are you, I mean, I speak to gospel artists who tell me that it's so challenging to raise the funds, to make the good music, to make the videos. How are you able to do that? But just before you ask, I want to say hello to DJ Abba. This is DJ Yemi Blackhouse. You know who I am.
Yem, how you doing?
I'm okay, bro.
I'm glad you called. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Nice one, and we'll go see. Great question.
Right. Yes. It's not easy, as he said. Nothing is easy. Nothing good comes easy. But I would say choose your battles in the sense that know exactly what your goal is from before you even start. So, for example, I've always known that whatever I bring out with God's name on it has to be excellent. Because I look at the secular artists. Hardly anything that comes out is substandard. The music videos, the mixing, the mastering, the branding, the imagery. It's always 1,000%. And so I'm like, if I'm putting God's name on this, it has to be even more so. So I'd like to probably suggest that if a gospel artist wants to get, I'm not even there yet. I'm still on a long journey.
You're on your way. So you're certainly on your way.
If you want to be, at that sort of echelon, you have to have excellence as the first thing, and then choose your battles in the sense that don't say because everyone's coming out with a music video for every single song, I have to do the same. Like prioritize, because there's not that much resources. You've got X number of pounds to spread across so many different projects. Don't just go out and do an album of 15 tracks, for example. 6 solid songs on an EP are much better than an album of 15 tracks. With the same amount of money, you can get way more quality in a project and get a bit more on the side to do marketing, things like that. So it's about choosing your battles.
I'm getting to know more about you're not just a musician, because most artists just tend to concern themselves going to the studio, come out, and then they need a whole heap of people. So you obviously understand all the major elements of pushing an album. You're talking about marketing, you're talking about all these bits. Now, how did you screw yourself in that?
I knew you were going to go there. I'm a certified accountant by trade.
Aha. So you're not Ijebu, by the way.
So you could say.
Any Ijebu that's accountant is double
My mom
horns.
used to accuse me when I was young. My mom used to say, if Sarah says she's broke, she has 5K in the bank.
Minimum.
So, but no, I'm because I've got that sort of discipline. I'm very methodical in how I do stuff. Okay. I'm very strategic in what I do as well. So even though I've got this whole creative side of me, the artistry and everything, there's a very studious, planning, strict, almost geeky side of me that is like, it has to be done this way. Before I go on a project, I have a whole plan. I put a project plan, like for the album I released in, was it June this year, I had a 2-year project plan on Excel of what I wanted to do at each stage until I go live with my album. Obviously, it slipped, everything didn't go to plan. My husband always tells me things won't always go to plan. You need to realize that. He's a very good sort of balance for me in terms of just making sure I'm not too, strict on myself. But no, you have to have that element of just being a bit, aware of the business side of music as well if you're going to go for it. And if you're not, because not everyone's business savvy, then get somebody to do that for you.
And very quickly, do you have any performances coming up soon?
I'm actually going on tour to Cyprus in November.
So that is come?
Absolutely. Yeah, Cyprus is a lovely place. Yeah. Depends on if you want to go with EasyJet or Lufthansa.
Don't worry, we'll find our way there. So you're going to be having, when is this going to be?
This is going to be from the 2nd to the 4th of November. I'll be doing a couple of dates, and I'm also going to be in Nigeria in the middle of November, because I'm just trying to do as much as I can to promote the album. And being an independent artist, it's all on me. So
well, guess what? We love what you do.
Thank you.
We're here to support you. Once you have all your material, just send it to us, and we will put it out there.
Thank you so
it's a short one, slapdash, but thanks for coming. I really do appreciate this.
Thanks for having me. God bless you.
We're going on a break, and when we come back, we're meeting the original madman of UK comedy and entertainment, Mr. Wale Gates. Stay tuned.